You are now tuned into Somewhere in the Middle with Soonie and Mo.
Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey.
Hey, Don on the beat.
Hey, I got so many ops.
Everywhere I go, I
got so many ops.
so many ops.
I know they plotting against me. I know it's hate, they wanna kill me, but please don't tempt me, cause I got so many glocks. Hey, ain't none of them empty. Jesus said they would hate me too. That's how I know it's envy. I got so many ops.
Hey,
What's up, guys?
What's up, guys? Happy Tuesday. Happy September.
Can I just say, it was a great reset to not do a Friday show. Actually, like normally I get up and I get ready. I was just like, I don't got to do a show. Bro, I didn't do nothing.
We didn't have to do any prep. We didn't have to watch any news.
No,
Nothing.
it was nice.
It was
really nice not to do anything.
We love our family over here, but you guys, it was a nice couple of days without the internets. Okay.
It was nice without y'all.
Yeah, it was really nice. I was up in Colorado. Soonie was hiking in Okinawa. Oop, do I have to say that?
Yeah.
Oops. My bad.
Yeah,
She was hiking with her family and friends. You know, she was doing her
fun.
thing.
Did
you miss
fun.
me?
We went to Cooney Reno. Yesterday I did.
Because you were like,
Yesterday
what is
I
going
did.
on?
I'm like, why is she not messaging? Usually I get a message. You know, the weekend, I don't plan to hear from you. If I do hear from you, you're like, just look at this. But it's Monday, and I'm like, okay, it's Tuesday. Now it's Wednesday. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
She took too long to respond. It was not giving.
Dude, we were in a car. We left at 5:15 a.m. from Colorado, and we're driving. We didn't get home till like almost 8. So it was a long day, and I was tired. And then my dad's birthday was the next day, so I was like,
"You're crazy."
Nothing to give. But I had
can't
such a good
do
time.
no road trips. Not that long. I'll be done. See, that's that you're in close proximity with too many people for too long in a car. It's different in a plane. You can get up and go use the bathroom and like stretch your legs.
Yeah.
But you got to sit next to that person for hours.
Listen, I like the girls that I was traveling with. They're good friends of mine, and I've traveled with them before, so we're good together. Like, we know it's not like,
I like my kids too, but I don't want to be stuck in a car with them for hours.
Listen, they were driving most of the time. I was curled up in the back with a blanket and some Doritos.
Okay. Okay, I get it.
With a bag of Doritos and and some red vines. I was like in heaven.
Guys, if you don't know, Don dropped his album and I've dropped at midnight. You guys can go stream it. It's on Spotify. It's on Amazon Music. It's on all streaming platforms. All you got to do is type in Don Troches. Hold on, let me zoom in real quick. Type that in and go straight to this song, okay? Don't listen to any other song. Just go straight to this song and hit play.
Awesome. Has he been getting good feedback on the song?
Yes, yeah.
That's cool.
A lot of good feedback.
Is P. Diddy knocking down your door yet?
That would be immediate no. I wouldn't even answer the door. Swear to God, I wouldn't.
Ooh, I would. I'd be like, I need to talk to you about this gay shit. I need to know.
Oh my gosh. No. I'll be right back.
All right. We're going to give Big Booty Judy her song, and then we will introduce our guest.
Big Judy, Big Booty Judy. What? Big Judy, Big Booty Judy. Big Booty, Big Judy, Big Booty Judy. Stop. I want to see you move it. Yeah. Big Booty Judy. Big Booty Judy. Big Booty Judy. That's Big Booty Judy. Big Booty Judy.
All right. Not that Big Booty Judy reminds me of this, but you guys, I may be late on this train, but you know what show I'm obsessed with is Sister Wives. I have never in my life watched Sister Wives. And my friend who I was going to Colorado with told me to watch Sister Wives, like, so we could talk about it because she was obsessed with Sister Wives. And because I'm a good friend, I watched season 17 and season 18. And then I had to go back because I was hooked, and I started at season 1 and now I'm on season 7. But oh my gosh, that show is a hot mess. I can't believe it's that this is something that's on TV. But anyways, needless to say, I'm hooked. I apologize ahead of time if you guys hear howling in the background. I have a Frenchie puppy that I am housing and training, and he's downstairs in a crate. And if anybody knows Frenchie puppies, they make the craziest sounds. So, do you guys hear that? Shout out in the comments if you hear my puppy in the background. Okay, let's see here. We got some new names that I haven't seen before. Okay, I know Jacqueline. We got Michelle in the house. Everybody's saying hi to Birdman. Konika. Yes, crazy but good show. Oh, she's a Sister Wives fan. Of course, we've got Big Booty Judy. I love 90 Day Fiance. Let me just say that 90 Day Fiance is my jam. And I'm watching the 90 Day Fiance right now. That they're like the couples therapy or whatever it is, like with the Hawaiian couple and Big Ed. Hilarious. I got to catch up on episodes there too. Oh, you guys are my people. Okay, you guys don't hear him. Good. All right. So Soonie is tending to the baby. So I'm going to introduce our guest, Bella, and we're going to bring her in. Some of you guys may know Bella. I had one introduction to Bella, and this is not Bella from Spicy Street Latinas or whatever their names are. You know, Crazy Linda. This is not that Bella, her co-host. This is Bella from Discord, who I by chance hopped into Discord, which you guys know I never ever do. And I try to like hop in there on the sly, nameless and faceless. Actually, I wasn't nameless. They just saw my little picture and my name on there. And I was just trying to be like a fly on the wall. And I heard Bella make a statement about something. And I was like, well, wait a minute. I need to come in there and ask questions. So we finally like revealed who I was. And I got in there for a very short time to have like, ask Bella some questions via chat because I wasn't on video. And I was intrigued and I wanted to bring her on the show so we could interview her and I could get all up in her business and, ask her all the questions I wanted to ask because y'all know I'm super nosy. So I hope Bella's prepared for my nosiness, but we will bring Bella in so she can say hi. Hey, Bella, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm very prepared for the nosiness.
You're prepared? You don't even know what I'm going to ask you.
I have no filter though, so it's all good.
Okay. Now, do you watch this show all the time?
I've seen it a couple of different times. I've known Soonie coming up on 2 years.
Okay.
But I've just recently started watching it a lot.
Okay, cool. And where are you from exactly? Where
Utah.
Utah, so you're where the Mormons are.
I am not Mormon though.
You're not Mormon? Okay, wait,
No.
answer this question. Why does everybody in Utah have a what is it called? Not a springboard, a trampoline in their backyard. When you fly over Utah, all you see are trampolines in their backyards. What is that about?
That is the excuse for the Mormon families who have 12 plus kids that don't want them inside. So it's like, oh, go outside, go do something. They need something to entertain their kids outside.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right. I always wonder that. Okay, so you don't know anything about Mormon people that I could ask you about.
I know some. I have a lot of judgment about Mormon people, but I know some. It just depends on what you want to know.
Are there polygamists anywhere near you?
Yeah, there's a whole polygamous compound near my house that is like enclosed by a bunch of like trees that no one's allowed to go into. The police isn't allowed to like get involved with. Up in like Beaver, Utah, there's literally guys who will stand by gas stations to like scout out their next wife.
What?
Yeah, it's a thing.
But Cody Brown says that's not how it is.
It depends on where you're at. Like I only know this because I actually knew a lot of people who were on that side of the Mormon religion, but it just depends on where you're at.
Crazy. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, we'll have to talk about, see, they know me. Now Mo must investigate. Yeah, see, now that I know I have an in Utah, I may have to send you on a mission to like take photographs and videos
I'm so down.
of the Mormon compound. You may have to be like our Utah correspondent so you could go out on the streets.
I'm so down for that.
Go out on the streets and pretend like try to get picked up by the dudes at the gas station looking for another sister wife. That would be
They'd take
awesome,
one
Bella.
look at me and they'd want to burn me at the stake.
Why?
Yeah. I mean, they see like tattoos, like
Oh.
it's very much like if you have showing tattoos, it's like no, like you're very much no, like you can't be near us.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends used to like just crap talk me a lot of like, oh, you're not Mormon, you can't do this or whatever, and so they're very
Wow.
exclusive.
That's funny. You'll have to go in wearing like a long sleeve shirt
Yeah. Yeah.
so we could hide it.
Yeah.
Mary has a B&B in Utah. Is that true? Mary from Sister Wives, have you seen her B&B? Her mom died and I know she took over
I
that
have no
B&B.
idea.
See, okay, you guys, we need to help Bella. She needs to be our correspondent. Oh
Okay.
my goodness.
That
Anyways,
sounds good.
okay, so just so everybody knows, I know nothing about you whatsoever.
Yeah.
I don't know who here that is in the chat knows anything about you, but why don't you start by telling us about yourself? Like, are you originally from Utah? What kind of family were you born into? Are you married? Are you single? You have kids? Tell me everything I need to know before I go in.
Yeah. I mean, I was born and raised in Utah. We moved around a little bit. I have like I'm a middle child, so middle child syndrome is a great thing. I'm a single parent. I have a 5-year-old little boy. I'm a teacher. I grew up in a very liberal family. So I got a lot of like that side of things. But not recently because they don't like having open-minded conversations. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I am very much a single parent. I'm not interested in getting married anytime soon.
And
I
how
used
old
to
are
play
you?
college softball too.
How old are you?
25.
25. Okay. And you used to play college softball, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you have a child who's 5 years old, a little boy. Were you
Mhm.
married before, or this was like a child you had? So he's 5 years old. So you had him pretty
Yeah.
young.
Yeah, so I had him at 20. His birth dad, I had been dating him for a while, but my one and only experience with any sexual encounter was not consensual.
Mhm.
And so I left to go to school, and I didn't know I was pregnant until I was 7 months along. And
Mhm.
so when I found out, it took me a minute to like actually realize what had happened and like how that came about. And so but by that time, it was like, all right, I'm keeping like,
Uh,
and so
Uh-oh.
basically, yeah,
Is
from
she cutting out for you
there,
too?
I'm gonna be a
Yeah.
mom.
Oh man.
You're cutting out on us. You there? You hear us?
Sorry, is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry about that.
You got that Mormon Wi-Fi over there?
Anyways. Huh?
I said you got that Mormon Wi-Fi over there?
Yeah, apparently my connection was apparently.
Okay, so
Sorry
you
about that.
wait before you started cutting out, you said that your only your only sexual experience was non-consensual. So you had a child
Yeah.
out of rape, basically.
Mhm.
Wow. And was
Yeah,
this somebody
so
that you knew?
Yeah, I had been dating him for a little while. Like maybe like 5 months we were
Mhm.
dating. And I honestly didn't think anything of it just because I didn't realize what had happened until I had my son, and it was like, okay, I can actually understand like that was not okay. That was not I didn't like that was definitely not consensual. But by that time, there was nothing else to focus on besides I'm about to be a mom, so that's what I need to take care of right now. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Are you okay if I ask you questions about that?
yeah, please go
Okay.
ahead.
So when you say you realize that was not consensual, what was without going into like extreme amount of detail, what was
Yeah.
the situation?
So I mean, again, no filter. It took me a long time to realize it because it was like one of those like a trauma happened and you push it down until you're ready to confront it. Basically, I had gotten uncomfortable and started to say no, and he had choked me, and so it was like I couldn't move, couldn't fight back, anything, and so it ended up just being like, okay, I don't know how to explain or understand what's going on because that was my one and only experience. So it seemed normal at the time, but then when I finally started like talking through it, and it was like, no, like that was not consensual at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
So would you say like, I don't know, like I've heard of this before, like women in those situations kind of go into like protection mode. So it's either like fight it and get hurt or just kind of black out mentally and allow it
Yeah.
to happen. Is that what you would say happened?
It was definitely a fight or flight. I don't remember anything past the initial like attack. Um, I completely blacked out, and so the next thing I remember is literally him dropping me off at my friend's house that I was staying at the time. And so I think the blacking out kind of just made it like the realizing what happened delayed, but yeah, it is absolutely a thing.
Wow. Sorry. Do you think that you were drugged or anything like that? Or
No, I was definitely drunk, but it was very much like he just took the
you didn't
control
care?
he wanted and just took
Yeah.
what he wanted.
So you found out you were pregnant like right away.
No,
Obviously,
I was
when
7 months along.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, so here's where the questions start because I've always wondered this because I've been pregnant twice and
Right,
I have known I was pregnant like right away. You know, like you miss
right.
that period, you start to feel weird. 7 months. Okay, how did you go 7 months and not know you were pregnant?
So I had been playing college softball at the time.
Yeah.
So being the fact that I was working out every day, I could go months without a cycle and it be
Mhm.
normal.
Mhm.
And I think not realizing exactly what had happened and pushing that trauma down made me deny it the entire time. I I ended up playing 2 games in the World Series, and then the next day took a pregnancy test, and it immediately came up positive, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
But you didn't feel like any movement, like the little pops that you feel, especially on your first time? Wow.
I didn't feel anything until it was like when I found out, that's when he decided to push his way right in up front.
Wow. And did you tell the guy that I mean, because that was your only sexual partner or you had had
Yeah.
sexual partners?
No, that was my first and only time, and I ended up having a friend tell him, and I knew that um he knew, and because he was asking questions about it and all that, but it was very much I took the stance from the beginning. I don't want him involved. I don't want child support. I don't want any involvement. I would go to jail before I share custody. um I didn't know why at the time, but now it makes sense.
Hmm. And was your first reaction to keep the pregnancy or did you think about terminating the pregnancy?
Well, the first thing that I was told was it is too late to get an abortion. Like it
Mhm.
wasn't like what are you considering or anything like that. That was the first thing they said. I had considered giving him up for adoption. But the one thing that absolutely just broke me and was like, all right, I'm gonna be a mom was my dad's response of he told me because like everyone else was super close, but he was super distant. And I asked him and he said, I can't get close to something that I don't know that's gonna be here. And so I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna be a mom because that that was probably the best decision I ever made. But
Hmm.
that was the one thing that I was like, he wanted a grandson so badly that kind of made me make that decision.
Wow. So you're close with your family. Obviously, you're close with your dad. You respect him
Yeah.
enough.
I
Yeah.
live across the street from my parents.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's nice.
We're all
That's
pretty close.
nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
So, how has it been raising a boy by yourself?
Um, that's been hard. I definitely have grown up in very liberal mindset, so it was like family, so it was very much like, oh, I can do this. He doesn't need a dad or anything like that. But it was honestly after talking to Soonie the very first time I met her, was I was very much like, no, he needs a good male role model, and like my dad has very much been that person in his life, and so it I feel like it would have been a lot harder if I didn't have the community that I do. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's been hard, but my family's been really good about it.
That's awesome. You're lucky
Yeah.
because that's usually not the case, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. How has that been for your little boy? Has he started to ask about his dad or he doesn't?
Yeah, he's asked questions every now and then, especially now that he's in kindergarten, because he sees um like moms and dads picking him up and all that. He I've had a couple of conversations with him of like, hey, like their families are different. Not every family is the same. You basically have a super mom who does two jobs. I have no idea how I'm going to approach that conversation as he gets older, but that's definitely something that, again, my dad and my mom has been both like heavily involved of like, we'll help you, we'll be there for you, we'll help you walk through that conversation, and it's not something that you're going to have to do alone.
Wow. So you said you work two jobs.
So I used to. I'm a teacher at a school. So
Mhm.
I basically got into childcare because that was my way of being able to work full time and also take care of my son. So he's been going to the same school that I've taught at ever since I've gotten into childcare.
That's awesome. So he has you right there.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's so
Yeah.
cool. Wow. I really commend you for that because like that's super tough. And when Suni and I have always had the conversation about abortion,
Hmm.
um, I am like pro-life all the way, but where I struggle is the exceptions for situations like yours.
Yeah.
Um, like like especially if it's like a young child, right, who was
Mhm.
molested and got pregnant. Like I would hate to put a young child through a pregnancy, even it's to give it up for adoption, right? Like a little girl's body is not designed to carry a baby, so
Yeah.
there's those little exceptions sometimes that like just tug at my heartstrings and make it hard for me to be so like dead set on the abortion thing.
Right.
So yeah, that's an incredible story though. That's awesome that you guys have
Yeah.
that support in your or that you have the support in your family and your dad's there to be the role model and all that stuff because it
Mhm.
is super important that he has a male role model for sure.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay, so do you date as a single mom? Do you date anybody?
Honestly, no. I have dipped my toe in it a couple of times. I just I don't know myself well enough to be able to trust myself in a relationship right now. So it's just one of those things that I'm not ready for.
What does you don't know yourself mean?
So I mean, I went from a collegiate athlete to a mom. So like I wasn't able to like experience like knowing what I want, like who I am. My mindset gets changed every day. Like I come to find out I have a lot more right-leaning views now than I do left-leaning views,
Mm,
and it changes who I look at in like my partner. I am heavily protective of who is involved in my kid's life, and so it's like I can't make an exception just because I want to date to risk someone ruining that relationship with my son.
so is your plan to stay single until your son is out of the house, or what do you do? You
I
must be
don't
quite
know.
frisky.
I don't know. I haven't approached that part yet just because it's like very much I taking it one step at a time at the moment. I definitely have my fun online, but in person is just one of those things where I I don't think I'm ready for. It's a
Yeah.
lot easier to do that online though.
Yeah. I mean, I for sure respect your reasonings being like your son and all this other stuff
Mhm.
because as a mom, like it does like I joke you must be frisky, but like those things don't matter. Like your feelings don't
Right.
matter, your loneliness doesn't matter. You know, what matters is protecting your child. And a lot of people don't get that. They think, "Oh, well,
Mhm.
I get to have a life too. Yeah, I had a baby at a young age, but I get to have a life too." And my answer to that has always been in my opinion, no you don't.
Right.
You know, because you know, even those of us that have kids and, you know, are married, our kids come before anything, you know?
Mhm.
Now, obviously, our kids don't come before husbands, but you know, you don't get to go carry on with life just because you're entitled to it. So, you know,
Right.
I respect that 100%. Okay, so you said you
I already
said
know what's coming.
you said you have your fun online. What does that
Mhm.
mean?
So I'm not shy online. It's a lot easier to explore that side of myself. I do take not appropriate pictures, and I have shared them with like men online and women online. I am bi. Um, it's one of those escapes where it's like it's a lot easier to explore that side of yourself, and so I don't know. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it, but yeah, that that's the side of it.
Okay, when you say explore that side of yourself, you have to explain to me what all this means because I don't know. Okay, first of all, so you said you're bi.
Yeah,
Um, so just like so everybody knows, that means that you could go for men or women,
yeah,
right? Um, do you think because I'm always interested. I have questions about the whole bi thing, first of all. Like if you were lesbian, if you're a lesbian, I would have a lot more questions because
yeah.
but honestly, like people who are bi really confuse me more than like somebody saying like I'm just interested in the opposite in the same sex,
Right.
even though I don't understand that either. But like when you're bi, I'm like, where does that come from? You know what I mean? Like, are you no, like in all seriousness, like do
Yeah.
you think that you're bi because of the situation that happened to you that you don't trust men and you find more
Is she frozen? I can see Soonie, but Mo's frozen.
She is frozen. Um,
do you guys hear me?
Now we can hear you. This is the same question. This is actually not a question, but
Oh.
I said this to Bella a while ago. So I'm interested to hear the conversation between you two because I actually straight up told her like I know why you're like this, and she didn't
Yeah.
deny it. She was just like, yeah, this is why. So let's have it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, it before I definitely wouldn't have explained it as because of what had happened to me. I don't have the trust in men, and I'm looking for something more effeminate. But yeah, honestly, I would explain it like that. I definitely it's one of those things where I am scared to date a man, and it does seem like the easier option, but I do think that women are attractive. And so it's one of those things where it could be rooted in trauma, and I definitely agree with that, but there's
Mm.
also just a lot of confusion with it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, most of the time when you talk to anybody who is bi or bisexual or gay or whatever, there's
Mhm.
always like some type of traumatic event associated with that.
Yeah.
I've never ever met a gay person or anybody of the alphabet letters who hasn't had some type of trauma in their life. So it's always interesting to me how that manifests itself. Okay, so going back to how you express yourself, um, like I don't know what that means. So like what do you get out of of having like I don't know if you're talking to these people or it's just like a hey, can you send me a pic and I'll send you a pic? Like
Yeah.
what is the whole interaction?
So a lot of the times I won't just send a picture just like hey here's a nude of me. A lot of the guys that I have talked to, it's like you know what? Yeah, we'll have intellectual conversations first. Like, because I've been heavily into the debate side of things. But yeah, I do send explicit pictures of myself when I want that kind of attention. Um, to me, in all honesty, it's one of those things where it comes to control. So it's very much like this is something I can do with my body and I can appreciate about what I have to offer. And that's not the only thing I have to offer, but it also gets the attention that I am craving at that time. I definitely there I vary with it because it's definitely not my favorite thing to do all the time, but it's not something that I have to like sit there as like, oh, I can't stop doing this. I absolutely could stop doing it at any time. It's just fun.
Is she frozen again?
I think so.
Oh my God, look at her face. You're frozen in the most awkward. You just look so unimpressed.
Is that my side or is
Yeah.
okay? I'm gonna refresh. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Okay.
I thought that was her reaction to me. I was like, oh no.
No. I mean, I can't wait to see the reaction. For the people who are wondering, because I know everyone's wondering why my big mouth is shut. I've already had these conversations with Bella. This is not my first interaction. Everything you guys are already hearing, I've heard. I'll say my piece towards the end because I do think there are some things you need to hear. But until we get there, I'm enjoying the conversation. I'm mostly enjoying Mo's response. This is funny.
I'm a super inquisitive person. So like by all means, like if I go too far with my questions, because I will ask sometimes questions that are inappropriate.
Again, no filter. I'm autistic, so that doesn't faze me.
You're autistic too? You
Yeah.
left that part out.
Oh, sorry.
What?
I'm very autistic, yeah.
Very autistic. I would never guess that.
I was raised that wasn't okay, so it's about 20 years of learned behavior.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just skip around really quick because somebody asked this. Have you ever gotten therapy for any of this?
So yes, I have talked to a couple of different therapists. I struggle talking with other like therapists about it when all that their response is okay, well, how do you feel about that? I'm like, I just told you how I feel about that. I need some tools. I need some guidance. I need something. I think the main reason why I struggle with therapy right now is because they're too nice. I was raised, my dad was my softball coach. And so I'm used to very much like, dude, get your crap together. Like, figure it out or don't whine about it.
Yeah.
And that's just how I was raised. And so when I see that in like the nice side in therapists, it's like, it doesn't make me want to open up. I have tried like guided therapy, like shrooms journeys, which that was probably the closest that I've gotten of like, holy crap, like this is mind opening. But I'm still exploring.
Interesting. Man, I could be your therapist, Bella, because if what you want is like if what you want is tough love, I could be like, Bella, shut the fuck up. Get your shit together.
See, that's the kind of like response
I'm
that
coming
I need.
off you
That's
for
why I
that.
like Soonie so much, because that's the responses that I've gotten, and like
That's why you like Soonie, yeah.
she's called me on my shit before, and it's like she's literally told me, you sound dumb. Like the night I think we were all defending one of my friends online, she was like, Bella, you're approaching this out of emotion. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, Soonie's good for that for sure. She'll tell you. She will tell you. Yeah, so like when I met you, okay, this was my first introduction to you as I like pop into the room and I hear you say, I'm a whore. And I was like, who the hell is this chick? And why would you say that? Like, why would you say that? So let's go to that question because I don't think I ever got that answered. Like, why would you call yourself a whore?
So you actually asked me this question a little too late because I told Soonie not like maybe like last week I was like, I am never calling myself that again. That is not me. But it was one of those things where it's like, I do embrace that side of myself of like, I don't mind sending nudes, but it's also like, I I can't bring myself to do something like OnlyFans because I can't do that to like my job. I can't do that of like the risk of like my kid maybe getting teased for it one day. Like I can't
Yeah.
risk that. And so it's one of those things where I had to really think about it of like, shit, is this like my trauma just coming out in this, or am I just like being loose with this, or like am I just being dumb? And so I'm definitely never calling myself that again, because that's definitely not what I am. It was just more of like in the moment, like making fun of the situation. Yeah.
So do you think like you having this like I don't want to say online persona. I don't even know. Okay. I need to know where you find these people that are just like, hey, send me a tit pic or whatever. Like, because I don't know. Like, I'm not part of
It's
that
in
world.
these Discord servers.
So, okay. So take me through an interaction. You're in Discord and are you flirting with somebody? And then like you guys talk and you're like, chit chatting back and forth. And then it gets a little
Yeah.
spicy.
So it really depends on the person. Like sometimes I'll have known them for a long time, and then it's like, hey, by the way, I'm not just this like ordinary person. Like you can see this side of myself, because there is that level of trust. But I also have a very like, if I feel uncomfortable, it turns into like giggly, like almost flirty. And so that comes out, and then it's like I've had some guys tell me like that's intriguing. And so it comes to, okay, we start talking to the messages, and then we start having conversations, and then it's like turns spicy, and then it's like, hey, I'll send a picture. I personally don't like receiving, so it was more of just fun on my part, because it's like seeing their reaction is like the high of it. I don't know.
Yeah. I was about to say, I mean, you sound like, I hate to say it this way, but you kind of sound like a predator in your own right, because like, no, seriously, like, I think like you're seeking out these people and then you get them in a situation and you know what you're doing. Because we're women. Listen, guys are dumb. Like they're just like, "Don't talk to me." You're a woman. You know exactly what you're doing, and you know exactly when to do it. So you get these guys in there, and then you start with the little innuendos or whatever to see how far you can take it, to see if he's going to ask you for something, and then that kind of gives you the illusion of, oh, I'm in control of this situation.
Right. It sounds really bad putting it that way.
Yeah.
And that's definitely like, it's not the intention when it's happening, but like I can see that. I mean, it's definitely
your drug.
like,
That's your drug.
It is like it. I know that it's like, okay, I have something to offer. You want it, then it's going to continue the conversation. But a lot of the people that it's like I do talk to, if I can't also have an intellectual conversation with them, like in debates or in like public VCs, and it's just about pictures, that's an immediate, like, I don't really want to talk to you anymore.
And there's no money or anything like that. They're not paying
There
you
has
anything.
been in the past, like I've definitely explored that side of it, but it wasn't like anything official or anything like that. It was just like some guy on Discord offered me money, and it was like, okay, here you go.
How much did he offer you? Just
so ballpark, I think I made about $300 off of him.
Oh, okay. So he was just going to give you cash for like a picture or pictures.
Yeah.
And what kind of pictures did he ask for? Like fee pics? Because people are weird about fee pics.
It was honestly up to my discretion. So it wasn't any sort of like request. It was just like, it was almost like a boudoir shoot. So I enjoyed taking those pictures, and it's like, hey, I have these pictures. I'll send it to you. I really haven't exposed a lot besides like boudoir level pictures. I feel a little uncomfortable with that side of it, but there's only been maybe like one, maybe two times that I've actually exposed that side of it, and it made me kind of uncomfortable and not sure how I felt after.
And are you doing this? Are you doing the same thing with women?
It's more of just fun. Like there's some women on Discord where it's like, hey, look here's a picture of my tits, and then it's like, oh, like you look great, and then kind of move it on. But it's not like I like for it's that's strictly for fun.
Okay, that's interesting to me because the women are strictly for fun. The men you have a little bit more of an involvement with.
It
You have
sounds
you have
so
an
bad.
end game. No, because see,
Yeah.
we're getting down to this. We're getting down to this. Like I'm going to diagnose you at the end.
I'm here for it, honestly.
um, do you feel shame? Like, do you feel like, like I shouldn't do this? Like, or does it turn you on to do this? Like, do you get some type of
Yeah.
like internal sexual gratification from a guy telling you like, oh, you look hot, like send me more? Like, do you feel like desired?
It definitely is a mixture of desire and like I'm very much like I'm into smutty books. So if they send like a description of like, oh, this made me feel this way, or like like I had one guy one time said that I looked like a piece of art, which was super corny, but it was very much like, oh, interesting. I have gone through phases where it's like, yeah, this kind of makes me feel shitty and I don't really want to do it, and I stopped doing it for a while, but like I don't really know how to explain it. There's those phases of like, you know what, I want to get back into this again and explore that side of it.
See, you need to figure out what triggers you to want to get back into it. That's really what you need to figure out.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, like I would be why okay, why not just try to meet somebody? Cuz listen, you guys are part of you guys are part of the generation that like lives online. You call people online your friends and you've never met them. So like there's always like this false sense of like connection with people that isn't
Mhm.
really there. Are you afraid of actual connection with people, like physical eye contact?
So it's not so much of like afraid of like the physical connection, eye contact or anything like that. I have dated a couple of times. I dated a guy for like almost a year when Riker was about 3.
Mhm.
Riker's my son. And it for me it was just more of, I find I have really high standards when I date like someone in person. Like if you can't give the time, if you are shady about your phone, like stuff like that, if you don't respect me for my boundaries, then I have no issue letting you go. I personally think that it might be the trauma, but it also just might be my weird brain. I find it hard to connect right away.
Well, yeah. I mean, nobody connects right away. That's why you date
Yeah.
people.
And I also psych myself out about it a lot of just because of past trauma.
Hmm. Because I really want a date for you. Like, I want like a real connection for you. No, seriously, because
Yeah.
I think that that's like the thing that's going to kind of like break you out of this. Honestly, okay, like if I was your shrink, this is what I would prescribe to you. Get
Mhm.
off. I would like because I think this is probably the hardest thing I could ask you to do. Get off Discord, no social media. The only people you talk to are people that actually dial your number to call you if they have it, and only personal conversation, because I think that that's really what's lacking, like,
Yeah.
and it's not just with you. Like I notice it with a lot of people, like I have a daughter in her 20s, and she is not like you, not as bad as you are, but like they
Yeah.
much rather text, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
than talk on the phone, that type of stuff. So I know that there's like this huge disconnect.
Yeah.
Now I want to ask this question
Yeah.
because there was a mom one time in the news that she was a teacher and she had an
Mm.
OnlyFans and she was doing pictures in the classroom. No, you don't do any of that type of stuff, right? Not that you would say it here
No.
because then you'd be like,
No. The
okay.
so I can strong like 100% confidently no. And that the reason is that we're a client-based school, and so
Mm.
we have cameras all around our center, and if we are caught on our phone, we get fired on the spot.
Oh,
So we're not allowed to have our phones in the classroom. I literally have to give like my son's school my work phone to like call the center if something happens, because if we're in the classroom, we're not on our phones. I find it weird. Like, I'm very protective of like taking pictures or like being on camera at work, just because of my son's birth dad has in the past tried to find him and try to get involved, and like tried to like, he has sent people to my house before. Like, he's psychotic. And so I'm very protective of that side of things.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier when we were talking about like when you physically date a guy, you have issues because they don't respect your boundaries. What are your boundaries? Because I'm confused that somebody who would would send nude pictures to strangers would have any boundaries. To be
Yeah.
honest.
I mean, honestly, I don't even know how to fully describe why exactly I do that, but I am very much someone, if you can't keep up a conversation and it's just very much like, oh, like let's cuddle or like something like that. Like, that's why the last relationship didn't work out, because it was very much he only wanted something physical, but I wouldn't do that, and so it was like it was just long drawn out, like waiting for that to happen. I'm very family oriented, and so it's like, if you can't accept that, if you can't accept like, oh, I can't go out on a date, or I can't go out this weekend because I'm watching my kid, or not watching my kid, I have my son, I have a family party, and that becomes an issue, then that's where I'm like, okay, that's a boundary for me. I have had guys in the past of like hide their phones, and I'm not the kind of person to like, I need to go through your phone every night, or all your text messages, but like, don't be putting your phone screen down whenever I'm around. Like, that's just hiding stuff to me. And honestly, I don't even know if like I know all my boundaries personally, just because I don't have a lot of dating experience, but just
Gotta get
from
out there.
yeah, it's hard because it's like, now that my son is older, I don't have a lot of sitters, but I have started to actually go out more, and so I don't know, it's a weird line of trying to figure that out.
Yeah. Yeah. And have you had any sexual relationships since you've had your son?
One, but
One.
that was the one that didn't last long.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Does dating, I forget what it was that you said to, like, you said when we spoke, or like I was asking questions, you said something to the effect of like they don't meet your standards or something like that, or they disappoint you. I can't remember what it was specifically that you said. You find that when you meet people in person, they tend to
Oh.
disappoint you or not meet your standards.
Yeah, it's very much like a lot of the men in Utah are turned off by the fact if I'm a single mom. And
Mm,
so if it's very few times that I have found a guy like that is like, oh, like heck yeah, like let single mom, like I totally respect it. I just haven't found someone like that. It's very much, well, why can't you go out? I'm like, I have a child. Like,
mm-hmm.
I can't just go out to the bar every night and go out like that.
Yeah.
I it might it I don't know. I feel like it has a lot to do with I'm not ready, but it's also I'm not going to introduce someone to my son right away. So it's going to be a minute. And so having someone be patient enough to date enough to
Yeah.
where that time span can pass, and then it's like, okay, I am comfortable with you meeting him, then I don't know. I just haven't found someone that's patient enough for that yet.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like in this day and age, you can't trust anybody, because now like there's so many people that like they date people and they abuse their kid or they sexually molest
Yeah.
their kid. Like that's super scary for sure. I don't blame you. I'd be like, you put a ring on my finger and then you can meet my son. You know what I mean? Seriously.
Yeah. No, I agree.
What was I gonna ask you next? Shoot, my brain just like um oh, I know. Okay. So Soonie has a lot of conversations like online with people. And
Mhm.
I don't like, I don't know if she's had these on Discord or whatever about single moms and like the stigma around single moms and,
Mhm.
you know, what people think about that. Like, what do you think about those conversations? Like, what do you have to say as a single mom?
Yeah, so that was actually Soonie and my first debate online is about single moms, and I joined so emotional about the topic. I was like, "How could you think this? Like, what about single dads? Like, like, you're not considering this part." And like, she about lost it on me because I was being just overly like emotional about it. But it was one of those things where I on my TikTok debate platform, I try to realize like I need to keep an open mind. I personally I find it hard to excuse having women having like multiple baby daddies or anything like that when it's very much like what was the lesson you learned the first time around? Like I can't bring myself to date someone after I have one and figuring out how to be a mom to one by myself, let alone having one, bouncing to the next, having another, bouncing to the next. Like I don't understand that.
Mm,
I genuinely like wish a lot more women would find themselves as a mom, because that's definitely a different version of yourself than it was before you had a kid, before they bring another puzzle piece into the equation.
mhm.
um I don't know, it's a lot of confusion because being so new into like the political side of things, I'm struggling to let go of the emotion side and just approach it with logic and just be like, dude, you sound stupid.
Mhm.
Like, think about it this way. Um, and not like, oh, I know it's okay. Like, I get it.
Mhm.
So that's my biggest struggle. But I just wish people would take the time to know themselves as a mom first.
But do you think people have a point when they say, like, never date a single mother? Because, like, you're asking for problems. You have to deal with, like, a baby daddy. You have to deal with maybe a son or a daughter who doesn't want to respect you. You've got to deal with all her issues
Mhm.
because who knows why she was a single mom to begin with. And then, they find out your personal story and they're just like, oh
Right.
gosh, this is going to be a headache for me because she's going to,
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I think some guys look at like if they hear your story, like I have a friend, for instance, that if a girl tells him that she's had some type of like rape situation, he leaves because he
Mhm.
feels like that could be a situation that could get him in trouble. Like she's going to be overly
Yeah.
sensitive about every little thing he does. He could be potentially fingered as being a rapist, especially now in today's age where it seems like everything is a Me Too movement situation.
Yeah.
You know what I
Unfortunately.
mean? Like, not
Yeah.
to make light of it, but, like, that's the reality of how some guys look at it,
Mhm.
that and I hate and I say this not to hurt you, but, like,
Okay.
do you feel like yourself, like, do you feel like damaged goods with a kid and, like, everything that's happened to you? Do you sometimes feel that way?
Honestly, yeah. Like that is definitely one of the feelings that I have that has played into the fact that I haven't dated yet. A
Mhm.
lot of guys will look at it as like, I don't want to get involved in that. And like, I get it, honestly. Like, I don't know how I would feel about dating a single dad if I
Yeah.
didn't have a kid. Um, I think it's really unfortunate, but I get it. I definitely feel like that sometimes because it's like I see it. It is hard to see like, oh, a mom and a dad walking to like their kid's baseball game or something like that, and it's like, oh, sorry, I
I
couldn't
want
give
that.
that to you, kid. Like
Yeah.
shit. But it's just one of those things where again, I really wish women would get to know themselves more and like take care of themselves more and not feel like they have to have someone validate them in person. And I know that's crazy coming from me,
I was about
but
to say.
it's really crazy. Like that's the thing. I have to I who I am as a person is very much who I am. But this side of myself is very much like different in person than it is online. Um I wish I held myself to the same standards because this is my morals and like my values, but I really do wish a lot of women would take care of themselves first.
Mhm. So is this person that we're talking to, like we see right here on the screen, is this the same person you are in Discord, or are you a little bit different?
I'm I'm trying to watch my potty mouth. Like I definitely cuss a lot, but
Yeah.
I try to make it a point of this is who you get. I I watch. I've told Soonie this before. It's like I don't want to be degenerate in front of my aunt up there. I try to keep that on the down low when I'm around Soonie, but it's one of those things where it's like it's very much this is who I am. Like take it or leave it.
Yeah. That's cool. I mean, listen, I gotta respect you for like all things said, like you're a liberal with right leading values, which is so crazy to me, but cool at the same time. A single mother, like you refer to yourself as a whore. But you know what's funny is like the girl I see here, like you're a girl I would be friends with. You know what I mean? Like I would be friends
Yeah.
with you just because like you just keep it real, right? Like you're not on here trying to pretend like you've got it all together or you're imperfect or whatever. Like you're not like on a stripper pole, you're teaching and then like in the nighttime hours you're sending, boudoir pics, to random guys.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny? Like I respect that you're saying this because there's a lot of people that are doing that and are lying to themselves that they don't do that, right?
Yeah.
And I get that you're like in the process of trying to figure that out. Like you understand that there's something wrong with it, which is
Mhm.
really really nice. And you're just like I'm trying to figure myself out
Yeah.
in this at the same time trying to protect my kid and keep his life as normal as possible while I'm like a wreck in the other room, just trying to like, I mean,
Yeah,
really.
it's definitely Hot Mess Chronicles over here for sure. It's definitely one of those things where it's like I mean I've kept this mindset since I started debating on TikTok, which was like 2.5 years ago.
Mhm.
I know I don't know everything and I know I'm wrong. And so that's where it's like I look even dumber if I pretended like I knew everything that I was talking about. And I hate when people do that. That's like one of my biggest pet peeves.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be able to admit when I'm wrong and just be like, that's a learning experience and then move on.
Yeah.
That's why I think I get I get along with Suni in our conversations because I it we do actually touch like the deeper conversations and can just sit there and know we're not trying to change each other's perspectives, but it can be a learning experience.
Yeah. No, that's cool for you to say that because I know like a lot of people will get intimidated by Suni because she comes really hard. But all she's trying to do is like strike up dialogue,
Mhm.
and if people realize that, they can actually have a really good conversation with her. She just has an interesting way of going about it, and only few get that
Mhm.
and survive. The other ones are just like they rage quit and they just can't take it.
You were built up a lot more than Suni was.
I
I was told that you were super intense and that you would you'd like just dig into me, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. But
Yeah.
no, it was very much like I know I'm gonna get honest questions, so
Yeah.
it's not good. I like it.
No, I'm super honest and super direct. Like I don't have a filter sometimes. And I'm just different. Like, I am direct and honest, but I always try to do it like from a place of like Suni calls it childlike curiosity. I do. That's kind of how I
Yeah,
am. I have like a very
Yeah.
childlike curiosity of things. You know, kids don't really care. They're just like, why does your belly hang so low? Like,
right.
what's that hair coming out of your chin? Like, that's me. Like, I'm that person.
I had a 2 year old ask me why my arms were dirty and
Uh-huh.
pointing to my freckles today.
Oh,
Like I get it. That's my daily life.
I would have been like, for every curse word I said when I was your age, I got one of these and then just scared the shit out of him.
That's funny.
Seriously.
Don't swear.
Don't swear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
I need to come up with responses like that.
Yeah. Well, I do have to say this, like, I really, really appreciate you coming on, not being afraid. And I want you not to give up on love, like real love. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I get that like a really shitty situation happen to you, but at the same time, it almost reinforces that everything happens for a reason. God always has a plan. And out of that terrible situation, you got that beautiful little boy, who made you a mom. And yeah, some other stuff came along with it, but maybe this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to figure it out. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm definitely at the point where I feel like I'm getting close. I definitely, like, despite the sending of the nudes in the night, I definitely, like, I have been slowly figuring my shit out. Like, I think getting my teaching degree and all that stuff has been a good help. But yeah, I've enjoyed it. Adulting is fun.
That's awesome. I want to check in with you in a year and you tell me that you found the man of your dreams and he's so sweet. Listen, you need to get into like a single parent Discord. Like,
Apparently,
you know what I mean? What? I don't know. Why don't you start I don't know how Discord works, but like, why don't you start the Discord room for only single parents, right? And like you guys share stories back and forth, but your rule for yourself, Bella, is no titty pics, no boudoir pics, no ass shots. Okay?
I got you.
You got to keep that under wraps.
I got you.
But honestly, like that could be something you could start. That could be really meaningful, and you could like share, because like I know Birdman, for instance, he's a single dad in our chat, and I'm sure you know him. I think I've seen him.
I know Birdman.
Yeah. But I mean, like, there's lots of single good guys out there, like that are worth a shot. And like, don't be one of these girls that like they have to check everything on your box. Don't be that girl, because you're never gonna find the perfect guy. You're never gonna find it. Just find like your top 3 things that are super duper important to you for your son's sake, right? For a good role model for your son. And you're going to find that guy and pray about it. Are you a Christian, or you're not a Christian, or no? You laughed. So you're not. Damn it, Bella.
So here's the thing. I grew up in the Christian church. My parents were actually pastors and started a church. I left the church though. I very much, a lot of church trauma with it. I had a lot of people say it was my fault for my assault. I had a lot of people say like your child is never going to go to heaven because he was born the way he was, or conceived the way he was conceived. So I'm very much someone where it's like I don't believe that I need to go to church to be a good person or good in my faith.
I agree.
I don't know. I do a lot of journaling. I do a lot of like mindfulness, like prompts and stuff like that to try to like almost like prayers in a journal. But I struggle with finding a good church.
Yeah. Okay. So here's your assignment for me, since you journal, because I'm a journaler too. So every night before you go to bed, I want you to write describe the man that you want. Okay. A little bit every night. Just start a page and just add to it. Like as you start to think of things, just, dear God, I'm going to give you the recipe for the man I want, and just start writing down those ingredients. And every night, just read it. Like I have my journals and I write in them. And sometimes I go back and read them and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that like this actually came true. Like this actually happened. Like,
yeah,
like I prayed about it. I'm not the person that like gets down on my hands and knees and prays.
Right.
I wake up in the morning and I like lay in bed and I pray, just laying in bed. And
yeah,
for me, prayer is not like, oh, Father, like it's not like that. I talk to God like I talk to everybody, because I feel like God knows me, right? God created me. So I talk to him the way I talk. So I'm like, what's up, God? Listen, I'm
almost
need
like
you to come.
Yourself.
Yes, that's exactly what I do. I'm like, I'm gonna need you to come through with something. And I'm telling you, you don't need to talk a certain way. Just talk, and like,
I'm here for that. Yeah.
Yes. And just believe in it. Just believe in it and just keep praying on that perfect man that you create in your journals. And I guarantee you're going to come back here and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, on the Soonie and Mo show.
I'll have Soonie update you. It'll be my accountability if I follow through with that.
Yeah. Listen, I'm the person that's like super lovey-dovey here. That's me.
See,
I'm
I'm
lovey-dovey.
not in that side from Soonie though.
You cannot help
She is.
yourself.
No, she is, but she's different.
Let's, you know what? I'm gonna toot my own horn. Since listen, why is Bella here? Bella is here because I've talked to her for how many years? I've been harsh. I've
No,
been
that's what I'm saying.
kind. No,
You know,
I don't like talking to people that way.
I
Just
know.
let me
No,
do me.
You do you. See, what we are to you, Bella, is like we're both on your shoulders. Okay. I'm like the little, you know what I mean? Like the little, I'm the aunt that's like, hee, like love, love, love. And Soonie's like, don't do that. Like she's the logical person.
I'm here for
I'm the
it.
person that's going to guide you with your heart.
I'm here for it.
You need us both.
honestly,
You need
I
us
need
both.
it.
Yes.
My aunt in real life, I love her to death, but she's hard to talk to. So I'm here for it.
Yeah. We're going to do, listen, you're like our first project. We're going to do a horror. What is it?
The horror reformation tour.
Horror. Yeah. Reformation. Is it reformation?
I don't know.
We're going to turn out, listen, because our competition, the Spicy Latinas, they had a whole show on how to turn a whore into a housewife. So you are going to be the real life whore into a housewife. Okay.
I'm all for being a guinea pig. I'm here for it.
You're going to be our first success story. And then we're going to open up the whore reformation LLC.
Watch out, Linda. Watch out, Linda.
Watch out, Linda. Watch
Oh
out.
my gosh. I don't
We
even
can't say
know
her
who
name.
Linda is.
We're gonna get sued. It's Linda.
Linda.
Remember?
Sorry.
She's gonna sue us if we talk about her again.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And I don't believe you're a whore. I'm saying that like because you use that term. I
Right.
don't believe you're a whore at all. I think you're far from it. I think you are a flawed person like many of us are. And nobody's perfect. And I have hope for you because I think the first step is being honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least
I
you're
literally
honest.
told Soonie like last week, I'm like, I am never using that term for myself again.
But see, when you said it, you summoned me. You summoned me when you said whore.
Apparently. I have been talking to her too for so long of like, I want to talk to your co-host because you were built up to be this like hard ass that it was like I would die and like crumble if I got into a debate with you. And then it was all of a sudden you were there that night. And I honestly, when I made the comment of like, who's the like your username,
Controller.
it was like, I have no idea who this person was. Like, are we about to have some like alt accounts? Because Discord gets crazy. Like people still will send alt accounts into servers to spy on me and to see what I'm doing. So Discord's just crazy.
Yeah, that name came out of, I don't know if you remember the M. Ben's saga, but she told me that, or she told Soonie or the whole world that Soonie was being controlled by me. So the little picture that I have is like a mannequin with dreads, and then it says controller. So that's why I have Soonie under control.
Very little interaction with her, and I'm glad I kept it at that.
Yeah, she's bananas. She's crazy.
Interesting character.
We can't help that one. We can't help that one.
No, that was one that I have very, very few interactions with.
Yeah.
And it was really just because I had respect for Soonie that it was like, okay, I cut this off. She was in my server at one point, and I think Soonie was like, if you don't ban her, I'm out. I'm like, bye, and then I don't care about you. Yeah,
she's crazy. If anybody has questions for Bella, you can drop them in the chat. I try to ask questions as they came along. Do you have any questions for us? Anything you want to know that's not related to you?
It definitely was nerve-wracking. I mean, I've talked to Soonie before, but it's one of those things where it's like I'm very different mindset than like right-leaning, but it's hard because the very left-leaning women who do debate and are on social media, they make me look bad. Like I hate that people have the mindset that they do, and so I don't know how y'all do it. Not necessarily any questions. I'm not like the crazy. That's why I told you I'm not a crazy liberal. I think that was my first comment to you. Like I'm not one of the crazy liberals, I promise.
Yeah, I have an interest in everybody. Because like I said, I'm naturally curious, but I've always had this outlook that no matter how terrible like the person may seem or whatever judgment you want to put on them, I truly believe all of us really just want some sort of some sort of validation, right? Like we just
Mhm.
want to know that we did okay. Like if tomorrow is the end of your day, I'm sure when you get up to God, you're going to be like, was I a good mom? Was I a good person? Did I even like get close, right? I don't think any of us are going to be like, dang, I wish I would have done that Discord debate or like all that shit doesn't matter. I think we all just want to know that we're not as fucked up as people want to label us to be. Like we're just doing our best and we're okay. Like
Yeah.
so you're okay, Bella. You're okay with me. You're good.
I appreciate it. It's definitely the online shit is definitely interesting. There's very few people that I would actually be like, hey, like look at my kid, like this is my life, like it. But it's good to find your people. So
Yeah.
I never expected Soonie to be one of those people, but here we are.
Soonie, the unsuspecting character she is.
I think that's
Soonie,
a
do you
jack
have
of all trade.
you are, yeah. Do you have any
I'm sorry,
questions for Bella? You know Bella, so I don't think you have any questions,
I
but
don't
is
have
there
any questions. I'm just gonna reinforce what I told Bella. I don't know if she was here, but
Oh, I heard
you
it.
attach labels to yourself that don't belong to you. Um, I'm a firm believer in being set apart from the world. And there's always a person that you come across that doesn't quite fit in. I'm one of those people. I don't fit in with the world. I just don't. And I never have. I've always been the person who is like the wallflower. I like to do a lot of observing. So when I see other people whom I perceive to be trying to fit into something that is not even something you should be trying to fit in to begin with, I think a level of tough love comes from me because I believe that I love you enough to not tolerate you and your BS. When you
Yeah.
have, I expect more from you because I know you can do more. I've seen you do more. And you just told everyone your story. I remember when you couldn't even get through the story.
Mm-hmm.
There was that time. But now you're talking about it and you have a sense of strength from it. So I'm just gonna continue to encourage you to keep going forward. Anytime you want to talk about the Bible, I'm right there. If you have questions about it, I'll even get Bryson in. Bryson's
I
back
have
into
not talked to
Discord.
that man in forever. He owes me some Bible verses for
I'm gonna
sure.
hit him up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit him up. But I just want to offer you those words of encouragement because
Appreciate
I don't think you're a degenerate. I told you that.
it.
And
Thanks.
and you're far from a whore.
Thanks. I see red pills comment that popped up. I was not a part of that.
what
At
is that referring to? I don't even know what that is.
if it's referring to what I think it is, I can promise you I was not a part of that whatsoever. That was after the y'all jumped in the drama. Some people grabbed pictures, and that was not me.
I don't know what you're talking about. You know what
It,
she's
it,
talking about, Suni?
I do.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I just wanted to make that clear. Because I don't talk to Red Pill on any other platforms.
Okay.
Sorry.
I don't know. See, this is I don't know any of this stuff because I'm not in the
It's
Discord.
Discord stuff.
I'm telling you.
Unfortunately.
I'm telling you. Uh okay. Was there anything else that was talked about when my computer just died?
No, I was just telling
Soonie
her
just-
what I always say.
Yeah.
I
Soonie
don't
just-
think that she's like the rest of the Discord citizens.
Hmm.
There's times where I privately message her like, why? Just why?
Yeah.
Please stop. But
I think that was the first time that I actually was like, oh shit. I need to think about this.
hot take though, because of this conversation and other conversations we've had in Discord, I came up with this new concept. And I think this will help Bella as well, right? sending your photos to people you don't know, you open yourself up to things called revenge porn. And
Mm.
I feel revenge porn is the best consequence to doing that. You don't know who you're sending these pictures to. You don't know if they're going to come back out. You don't know if it's going to fall in the lap of your kid. And how do you explain that? Right? So I think the best form of getting women to not do it is to really reinforce that someone can drop your pictures at any moment. They do not care.
Yeah. You don't put your
So
face in the
stop sending
pictures, do you?
pictures.
No.
Because I was just thinking about it. Like, what if somebody is using your pictures to like make their own, what's it called?
OnlyFans?
OnlyFans. Yeah.
Yeah, I purposely don't put my picture or my face in any of those pictures.
Mhm.
Honestly, again, that would be a consequence. That would really suck, but it's just one of those things where it would be a consequence for the actions I took.
Mm. So you're just gonna wait until that happens? You're like, what is that? A masochist? Like you just want to. You're like an emotional cutter. You know what I mean? Like you're
Apparently.
just like, yeah, I'm gonna cut just deep enough until.
I didn't even. I mean, honestly, I didn't even think of it until like Soonie actually made that concept. I didn't think of it, but
Mhm.
it's just one of those things where it's like, oops, like shit, that's a mistake.
Yeah. And Judy says, as a teacher, that's not a good look for you.
Which I would agree with, honestly.
Yeah.
It's one of those things of like a mistake, and I am fresh into my teaching path. So there's room to fix those mistakes.
Yeah, because I think my concern, because you have it looks like you have like a sleeve.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my concern would be like you send a picture with your tattoos in it, and then like somebody's like, wait a minute, that arm
Yeah.
looks familiar.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Bella, my daughter's, teacher.
That's probably one of the only things that could identify me. And again, that's it's one of those things where it's like those pictures are out there, and I just need to decide what I'm going to do with it.
Yeah. Don't wait until it happens.
You're right.
It will
Prepare
happen.
before it happens. Now, I'm not trying to scare the shit out of you, but you know how Discord is, dude. Like,
Yeah.
Discord is a very diabolical place with people that have nothing but time on their hands. Anybody who's spent time in Discord, it's no cap. All right, it's a bunch of people in there with a lot of time, and sometimes they plot on other people's downfall. I've seen it myself. This is what goes on in these servers. So I always come up with hot takes like that just because I know it's going to set a lot of people off in there. And of course, a lot of people got set off with that conversation, but it's a fact and you can't get around it. Just think of that before you go do things.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Discord is like the gateway to hell. It really is.
Yeah.
Get out. Like I literally feel like I feel like when I'm in there, it feels very dark.
It honestly, it is. I did take an almost a 3.5 month break from it, and then I like slowly came back into it. Sometimes I think like, why the hell did I come back? But it's one of those things where you see a lot of people who have a lot of time on their hands and maybe too much. But yeah, it's definitely one of those hard things to let go of for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Things. Yeah, and they should be worried about should be worried about revenge porn too.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I'm an equal opportunity offender. I don't care if you have a vagina or a penis. If you're putting it out there, you're leaving it open for somebody to come screw you in the end, especially if you have plans for your life. Things don't just go away. They don't.
Yeah.
They really don't. Degeneracy is fun though. No.
Can I ask
he's responding to Judy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's responding to Judy, which she said, respectfully, it's you, but I'm old, but I have grandkids in school. So yeah. Okay, so now I have like a super inappropriate, just this is how
I'm scared.
Mo's mind works. Yeah, be scared, Soonie. You may want to cover your ears.
Jesus.
Have you had a sexual relationship with a woman?
So, Sunni's earphones are off. Okay,
Yeah,
can't hear
I
me.
think so.
I have with 2 women.
Uh-huh.
It was more. There was one that was like I was considering like actually having a serious relationship with, but there was another of like it was just for fun.
And when I say sexual relationship, like you had intercourse with a woman.
Yeah.
Okay. So explain to me this, because I know like I know, Soonie, you may want to keep the headphones off. I'm sorry. I just have to have this.
Can I just ask before you answer this question?
Sure.
How do 2 women have intercourse?
I was getting there.
Oh my goodness. I don't want to hear it.
Well, no, I just want to know, you know how like like women will use a strap on another woman?
Yeah.
I don't know if that happens all the time.
So it really depends.
Why? Okay, like if you don't like men, why are you using a penis?
So it's not about not liking men. It's so for me personally, when it comes to like male relationships, I am very much the submissive one. But when it comes to female relationships, I am very much the dominant one.
So you're like the guy.
I'm personally, I've never used a strap ever, but I know that there's the talk of like how can you actually have sex if there's no penetration, but you can do a lot without that.
I mean, we won't get into like the details of all that. I was more like, I mean, I can imagine, you know what I mean? But like, I think in the traditional side, intercourse is a penis and a vagina. So like, how do you have that type of intercourse with a woman when there's nothing, unless you're using what I said? And that confuses me, because I'm like, if you like penis.
So I don't know. Maybe it's just like people should just stop calling it intercourse with women and just say I had fun with a woman or whatever. But you can do a lot more than just that. And so I think being able to explore that side of it is very much. I've said explore that side of it a lot tonight. Explore a different part of the sexual intercourse is just the curiosity of it. Like exploring it.
Yeah. So this is and I know that people in the comments are getting kind of like squirrely, because whenever, even though we're a bunch of adults, like whenever sex comes up, people are like, oh God, we can't talk about sex. Like nobody can actually know that it happens. Right. You know, like meanwhile, everybody's doing some freaky ass shit behind the scenes, right? You're not here for the interview. Bella is, and she said I could ask her anything. So I have been wanting to have that question answered. So she's being honest with me, and I'm asking it like as respectful as I can, because I really, really am curious how that happens.
I will say it's not the same for everyone, at all. I definitely think that it depends on the different people. Like if they are gay, then it's like, yeah, they might like to use it, but it's about it not being attached to a man. So that's just my personal opinion on it.
Gotcha. If you were left with a choice between a man or a woman, who would you lean more towards? Like,
honestly, because I love being a mom, a man. I do want more babies.
Good job, Bella. Good job. Go men. We're team penis over here.
Yeah. I love being a mom, and despite I kind of had a traumatic pregnancy. I want like 4 babies. So.
Oh, okay. So you want more kids. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, you better get started, Bella. You better stop messing around with these Discord people.
I got you.
You got to meet a real man. I'm sure I can guarantee you, and don't listen to people out there that are like, there's no good guys out there. There are so many good guys. So many good guys. I meet good guys all the time, and I'm just like, man, where are you? Like when I'm talking to, a girlfriend of mine and she needs to meet somebody, like, where have you been? But you got to get out there. You got to get out there and talk to people.
Yeah, I'm getting better at that, I will say. but
Good.
I need to just take a break sometimes.
Take a break. You haven't even gotten started, girl. Come on.
Take a break from Discord is what I'm meaning.
Oh, absolutely. Give Discord up. Give Discord up. I'm telling you, go sit, listen, go look, however you look. Don't go putting on like any type of like fake, look or whatever. Just look how you look, be you. Go sit down, have a coffee or a tea, wherever, and just like talk. People will talk to you. Take it from me. I talk to everybody. I'm one of those people that I'm just like, hey, how you doing? Like I'm the talker person. It happens. You just gotta be available. You just gotta smile. Be a welcoming face, and people will come to you. Don't be like, on your phone, on your computer. Just sit there with no guard, no phone, no computer. Just sit there and smile, and somebody will talk to you. I guarantee it.
I've started reading more, so that's been. Does the book count?
Yeah, no, you can do the book. That's hot. Some guys find that kind of hot. That you're actually reading a book. My gosh.
Yeah. I'm very heavily into reading right now. So that's been my thing. I'll do that.
That's awesome. Okay. Well, you have an assignment. Journaling your ingredients for the perfect mate and getting out of Discord and going somewhere and meeting people in person. And then we're going to check back with you in 6 months. So you need to have made progress by then.
I got you.
Let's see, 6 months. That's 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. Okay, so that's about March. We're going to check in with you in March.
Sounds good. Soonie, are you still going to be my friend by then?
Soonie's going to laugh. She's going to be like,
no. It's like, let me stop.
I will say, don't entertain KG in the comments, please.
Who is that?
I don't know who it is, but I don't want to start that shit in here. Like, I'll say it to KG. Leave that shit out of here, please.
Hey, I'm here for it, I'm
if you're here for it, then it's your show, but
Big Booty Judy says you'll be in her prayers.
Oh, she disappeared.
Damn. Yeah, that's nice. Everybody put Bella in your prayers. If you're a praying person, then put her in your prayers. That's what I gotta say. Oh, does she not hear us?
I don't know. Probably not. She may have got a phone call. That's probably what happened.
Oh, hang up and then come back.
She can't hear us. You can hear us?
Oh, hang up. Oh.
You can refresh if you want to come back. If not, thank you so much for coming on. It was really fun. We can't hear you.
Oh, it says her mic isn't connected.
It does say her mic isn't connected. You have to refresh. Okay.
That's awesome. That was a good interview.
Yeah.
She's a nice girl.
For sure.
25, 26. How old was she? 25 or 26?
Yeah. Yeah.
She's still young. She can still get it. She's still got time.
She got a lot to learn. Yeah.
At least she's trying to figure it out.
I know. That's why I don't go as hard on her as I used to.
Yeah.
Because she's not delusional.
Yeah.
Like, she'll sit and listen. She might not agree, but at least she'll sit and listen. And there's times where she'll come back and hit me in the DMs and be like, oh, I thought about what you said. Or, sometimes she'll ask me, what do you think about this? Or oftentimes she'll ask me about the Bible. So she's one of those, the rare few people who do align with that side that will sit and have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
Like, most, in my opinion, most women on that side view us over here as the conservative women, as the snooty, like, I'm above you. Right. But it's not that. I think we just come with the sense of like stern love. Like, don't be a whore. Don't send nude pictures of yourself because you could potentially, things could be bad for you. I'm not going to sit here and affirm you when you're wrong. And I told her that. I was like, I promise you we're nice people. We love, we just have rules. I don't believe in any form of unconditional love unless it comes to your spouse or your child. That's unconditional, pure love. But it's very conditional when you have it with other people, because the second you violate something that I don't like or a boundary,
Mm-hmm.
then we have to weigh, is this relationship valuable or not? You don't have that with your kids. You
Yeah.
don't have that. You have that with people who are an extension of you. But
Yeah.
I think there's hope for Bella.
I do too.
I do.
Christine, put a reminder on the calendar for February. We need to start reaching out to her for the check-in.
February, 6 months.
Yeah. We have great expectations for her.
What? He said when Soonie talks, I only eat French fries.
Uncle
What?
Earl is listen.
What does that even mean? I only eat French fries.
Yeah.
Oh,
He was saying
man.
something that Trump was indicted for the floods at the Burning Man.
I did
too.
see that. He always comes in here with that. That's freaking hilarious.
I know. Well, speaking of news, do we have any news we want to quickly talk about?
We do. Can we talk about this Ralph Yarl situation? Let's give you guys a little update.
I was hoping you'd
Ralph
talk about
Yarl.
this.
Yeah, I want to.
Crazy.
This is another moment where conservatives just aren't, like, bro, y'all are never on code. Never.
Yeah. So if you guys don't remember, refresh them. So this is the
Okay,
kid
go ahead.
who mistakenly he was his mom or his aunt sent him to go pick up his brother or his cousin, went to the wrong house, was knocking on this gentleman's door. The gentleman shot through the door. Luckily, Ralph was not killed, but he shot through the door at this kid and was taken to jail. And now this. Take it, Soonie. Take it away.
Take it away.
Take it
So
away.
this guy is pleading not guilty, and he also claims self-defense. He's been charged with first degree in armed criminal action, saying that he too made a mistake. At the preliminary hearing on Thursday, after listening to testimony, including both from Yarl and now 17 and Lester's lawyer, the loss, what does it say? Judge Louis Angels ruled that there is sufficient evidence in the case for it to go to trial. One thing I do want to refresh your memory on is they have been fighting to seal court documents when it comes to this case, which I found to be very weird. I think we talked about that a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Steve Salmon, whom is the lawyer to Lester, is saying that his client is claiming self-defense in the shooting. This is where I got annoyed. Okay. Lester argued he shot Yarl because he felt reasonably threatened after finding him on his porch late at night. Now, do you remember when we did this initial show? I said the only explanation the left is going to come up with is existing while black. We can't deny it. How are you claiming self-defense when someone merely knocked on your door and rang your doorbell? There has been no confusion with what that young man was doing that night. He was going to pick up his siblings and knocked on the wrong door. There was no forced entry. You have no bruises. The only person who ended up shot up and hurt was the young man. So where does self-defense come from? And why is nobody talking about this story?
Well, you also said this when we initially talked about it, is you made the statement, why are we afraid of each other?
Yes.
Remember that? You said that? What blew me away in this article was he said, I made a mistake. The old guy who shot Ralph said, I made a mistake.
Yep. He said mutual mistake.
The way that it was like, so yeah. Is that what it said? Yeah. I made a reasonable, what did he say? It was a mutual mistake. So basically Ralph made a mistake by coming to the wrong house, and he made a mistake by shooting at him. You could have killed him. Okay. Making a mistake is, I didn't see that handicap sign when I parked in that parking space. That's a mistake. You can't shoot somebody and just be like, oh, it was a mistake.
Exactly.
What? How is that even a legal defense? Like, how is that even allowed? I think it is interesting that they're trying to seal the records. I hope that this is a public trial so we can watch it, because this is going to be a crazy trial.
It is. I'm going to watch this, and I'm specifically going to watch it because I personally do believe that there was a racial aspect to this incident. I think anybody saying that is not is you're denying reality. Back to the question I had asked, why are we so afraid of each other? Someone knocked on your door in the middle of the night. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of?
Right.
The guy didn't even have the opportunity to act if he was going to do something, allegedly. He knocked and rang the doorbell. Like, what are you afraid of? That I hope the prosecutors really hone in on what he was afraid of that night and why he felt afraid. I'm going to go back to what I always say. The media's depiction of Black people is in the garbage.
Mm-hmm.
The liberals' depiction of Black people is in the garbage. The right's depiction of Black people is in the garbage. It seems as if no one has it right. And it's not even just Black people. I think multiple people are mischaracterized, whatever race you are. But we can't deny that there is a certain, you have a certain view when it comes to Blacks. Don't deny it. You do. I have that as a Black woman. I will cross the street if you just don't look too right, whether you're white, Black, or Asian. I'm crossing the street.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very much so judging your outer appearance.
Yeah, I think we all do that. What state was this in again, Suni?
Wait a minute. What state did this happen in? Clay County, Kansas City, Missouri. Clay County.
I mean, now is the other woman, what's her name? The stupid one
Susan Lawrence.
Yeah, like is she gonna be like, oh, it was a mistake? I'm scared. You know what I mean?
I don't listen.
Is that the new defense? It's a mistake. I mean, I'm sure everybody can claim the mistake defense.
Yeah, they can. But the prosecutors in this case said that there was insufficient evidence for murder. So she's not even going to go to jail for murder because they claim they don't have enough evidence, which I don't see how. I don't see why this guy just go to trial for what?
Right.
We know you're guilty. I get it. You're afforded that right to have a trial in front of a jury, right? To fight for your innocence. But when we know someone has done the crime, shouldn't they be absolved of that right? Me personally, I mean, what do you think in the chat? When you know someone is guilty, beyond reasonable doubt, like we know this person committed this crime, we know why they did it, we have the weapon, shouldn't they lose the right to a trial? And you just take your ass to jail. Why waste taxpaying dollars to have a trial for a man to sit there and lie and say he acted in self-defense?
Yeah, I mean, I've always said that. It's unfortunate because, you know, a trial is not just to say you're guilty or you're not guilty. It's also for sentencing, right? So, like, even though you may have admitted that you committed the crime and everybody knows you committed the crime, now it's to determine what's the sentencing going to be. But I agree with you. I wish sometimes they would just save the tax dollars and just
like
the book
pedophiles, people who like harming children, child murderers. Like, you don't deserve due process. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
I agree.
Do you have any more? Are you going to talk about the Proud Boy situation? I'm going to be honest. Can I be honest with you guys?
What's that?
I have stopped talking about January 6th because truly people don't give a fuck, and it's virtue signaling at this point. These guys are getting sentenced to 22 years, a year in prison. And what can I do at this level besides annoy my politicians to get up and do something? And we've done that for how long? How long have we nagged these politicians? Even Trump pardoned Kodak Black and Lil Wayne. Come on, bro. Come on.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it. Not that I don't care. I mean, I think it's terrible that they have these people in prison that didn't really do anything, and I hope that they get out. But you know damn well why this is coming up. Because it's about to be election season and they need to have something to talk about. Yes, that's all it is. Nobody cares deep down about it. Nobody really cares. You guys only care about these people when the internet tells you to care about these people. That's the truth.
Half of them are about to finish out their sentencing. Cash is one of them. He gets out next year, I believe. He had no help. Now, granted, he had another situation going on as to why he is in jail for as long as he is. But he should have never done time for this January 6th thing to begin with. It should have never happened. Politicians should not be watching political prisoners being taken into prison in the United States of America. Politicians allow this to happen.
Yes.
Like, I don't know. To me, I feel like we're in an assimilation and we're just reacting to things. And nobody's really paying attention. Like, bro, these politicians are doing nothing to get them out of jail. We keep giving them excuses. The left is just in control of everything. Do you think the right doesn't have control? Really? That's an illusion.
They do. It is an illusion. They're telling you we don't have control. They don't let us do anything. Yeah, that's an illusion.
Come on.
Yeah.
But apparently Enrique, what is it, Tario?
Yeah.
He got 22 years in prison for January 6th seditious conspiracy. Now, I've heard other things about him. Don't know if it's true, but I have heard that they are FBI informants. So I don't know how I feel. I feel like maybe this is a rat going to jail for doing rat shit. Sorry.
Who was the other guy in January 6th that they said was like a Fed? Oh,
wasn't it the shaman guy?
No, well, he was one of them, but then there was like another white guy. I can't remember his name.
I forgot his name. It's like Ray
Epps.
Ray Epps. That's his name.
Ray Epps. Yeah. Whatever happened with him?
I don't know. This is what I mean. Like you can't find any other information outside of someone else's speculation. And I don't want to read speculation. I want to know, okay, what's exactly going on with these things.
Yeah. Case in point, I was telling Soonie before the show started, there was an article on Gateway Pundit that said, in an exclusive interview with conservative political commentator and former Michigan gubernatorial candidate Tudor Dixon, former President Trump weighs in for the first time on the rising concern over adverse events linked to COVID-19 vaccines. We're trying to find... Yeah, we're trying to find the interview. And I just saw this today, so I didn't have time to research it because we want to make sure that we're like understanding the context of this. But this is a very interesting thing to see because it's like, come on, now you're going to talk about this. Now you're going to ask for them to be, now you're concerned about the adverse effects. Come on, dude.
I said they're going to use this against Trump. I said this when he was bragging. I said this for 2 years straight, bro. They're like, no, he's not. They can't use it against him. What do you mean? Were you here in 2020? Because I was here. You remember when they all sat on TV? I'm not getting it if it's Trump's vaccine. You remember Kamala Harris doing that?
Yes.
And then what happened after New Year? All these politicians were getting jabbed on TV.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah. But see, that's what I think, like something weird happened there. Something weird happened there. Remember, I was going over like my whole theory after watching, I went all the way back into The Sound of Freedom and how they created a fake virus to be able to save these children and all this other stuff. And I feel like somewhere in there, the Democrats realized what Trump was doing with this. And so they decided to like flip the script on him. And they were like, okay, everybody get it. I don't know what happened, but I thought that was super sus. I'm like, what changed? Because they all said, if it has his name on it, I'm not getting it.
Exactly.
I mean, it never was the Trump vaccine, for crying out loud, but something's weird.
This is all happening in amazing timing. This is coming right after the White House announces Joe Biden has COVID. I did a video. I want you to watch this. Listen, wait. Does anybody else not give a flying fart about Jill Biden or COVID? I just want to understand why they're trying so hard to bring things back, like these mask mandates that don't actually work, and the CDC has already come out and says they don't work. Also, Fauci said it, but that's neither here nor there. I might get canceled if I put that in this video.
Right now in the United States, People should not be walking around with masks. Now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask.
You sure about that? You sure about that, Fauci? Are you sure about that? 2023 and 2024 are going to be off the chain. They trying to bring back mask mandates, y'all. This is crazy. Tell me this is not all happening at a very convenient time. Right after a study comes out, okay? A very in-depth study. And I want to show this too. I kind of vegged out on Fauci and COVID a little bit yesterday, Mo. I did.
What? Vegged out? Like you watched a bunch of stuff?
I watched a bunch of stuff in entirety. I didn't skip nothing.
Oh,
I don't have the clips. I don't have the clips right now. Actually, yes, I do. I'm going to send it to myself. But
okay.
Dr. Fauci is coming out against a study that proves that cloth masks don't work. Okay.
Oh, he's coming out against the study.
Coming out against it. Now we could talk about this because this is a study and it was on CNN.
Yeah.
This is not my own opinion, YouTube. I'm talking about what other experts. Okay, y'all keep telling us to trust the experts. So I'm trusting the expert on this.
Trust the science.
Fauci literally came out and double spoke. Now, I was pleasantly surprised that CNN even had this on. Like, I don't think y'all understand. I was shocked that CNN was even talking about this. Let me pull this up. I was pleasantly surprised. I had to rewind it like 6 times to make sure I wasn't tripping, bro.
18.
Oops, that's only the 1 second one. My bad. Let me send myself the whole clip. So pretty much they're asking Fauci, what do you say to this new study that came out that is saying that, these cloth masks don't work? And he double spoke. He said, well, we like doing things at an individual level. This is about individual protection.
Right.
We can't be factoring in any broad studies. It's too broad. I'm like, so now it's okay for the individual to go by their experience. Okay, it's okay. But before, we had to do a blanket treatment of everyone is jabbed and everyone is wearing a mask. Are you serious? Fauci is one of these slimiest dudes.
Totally.
Oh, yeah, this whole interview, it bothered my soul. I had to watch all of it. That's how bad it bothered me.
It must have been good.
I was like, what in the
risk to themselves and to their families. And again, we're not talking about forcing anybody to do anything.
He said
Totally
that,
understood. There is a perception.
Just so people understand buzzwords and predictive programming. He says a total of 10 times in this interview, we're not forcing you. It's just a recommendation. The CDC doesn't issue mandates. I just want y'all to pay attention to stuff like that.
Perception out there by many, how many I don't know, that they don't work and that the data concludes that they didn't work in the first go round. Respond to that on masks.
Yeah, well, that's not so. I mean, when you're talking about at the population level, that the data are less strong than knowing that if you look on a situation as an individual protecting themselves or protecting them from spreading it, there's no doubt that masks work. Different studies give different percentages of advantage of wearing it, but there's no doubt that the weight of the studies, and there have been many studies, indicate the benefit of wearing masks.
I'm going to refer to one of them. You've heard about it before. I heard about it from a number of radio callers. Brett Stevens in the Times talked about Cochrane. Put that on the screen. The most rigorous and comprehensive analysis of scientific studies conducted on the efficacy of masks for reducing the spread of respiratory illness, including COVID-19, was published last month. Its conclusions, said Tom Jefferson, the Oxford epidemiologist who is the lead author, were unambiguous. There is just no evidence that masks, make any difference. He told the journalist Mayan Damasi, full stop. But wait, hold on. What about the N95 masks as opposed to the lower quality surgical or cloth masks? Makes no difference. None of it, he said. Well, what about the studies that initially persuaded policymakers to impose mask mandates? They were convinced by non-randomized studies, flawed observational studies. How do we get beyond that finding of that particular review?
Yeah, but there are other studies, Michael, that show at an individual level for individual, when you're talking about the effect on the epidemic or the pandemic as a whole, the data are less strong. But when you talk about
So what you heard
What?
here is the data is less strong when you're talking about data as a whole, but it's stronger when it comes to the individual. This is called double speaking, my friends. Go read the book. Politicians are trained to do shit like this.
Oh, it's
Hi, he
enough to
double
make you.
spoke how many times?
It's enough to make you want to scream. Now I remember why we stopped talking about this because of that.
It's annoying,
It's annoying.
bro.
I'm so glad we stopped talking about it, but you know it's going to start coming back up. But I swore I was like, I'm not talking about this COVID thing. No, ma'am.
We're not covering it like other people are. That was just you misspoke and you literally proved everyone's point from the conspiracy theorists, the people didn't know they were talking about.
Yeah.
The folks that didn't trust the experts. Now the experts are echoing what we've already said. It's
Yeah.
an individual thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But it ruins your argument because he said, fine, you don't want to talk individual. Well, let's do it at a broad level. No, no, no. It's not heavily weighted if we do it that way, guys.
Yeah.
Okay,
Soonie,
Fauci.
Soonie, you got to understand that this is the way it is, okay? Tomorrow it's going to be one way and the next week it's going to be another.
Don't wear masks. You're fiddling with your face. You're going to get germs in your face. No, wear masks. In fact, put on 4. Wait, take it off. Because the CDC, the experts are arguing with each other at this point. The CDC has already come out and backed this study. And here's Fauci. Nope. Hopefully you guys will voluntarily mask up.
Like idiots. I saw a lady today at Target. She was wearing the mask.
Oh God.
And she I was like moved over in the aisle so she could have gone past me. And she was like, excuse me. Like she wanted me to move over even more because she didn't want to get close to me. And I had the puppy in the cart and the dog like jumped out and she was like, oh, like that. I was like, leave.
I would have coughed.
I was like,
You know what?
you look like a dumbass. Okay. Dumb. I'm for you if I'm making fun of every mask on. Okay, so people, here's your homework because this is going to happen tomorrow, and Mo's going to want to talk about this. Okay, on Friday's show, on Tucker's show tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, he's going to be interviewing the man claiming to have a sexual encounter with Barack Obama in 1999.
Jesus.
This is a very this is a very crucial part to the Tafari Campbell surfboard, whatever it was, the guy, the paddleboard murders. Okay. This is crucial because I'm thinking Tafari maybe got hit on by either Big Mike or Barack.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. See, look, somebody said it.
You.
Larry, please don't go paddleboarding. That's what somebody said right here in the comments. See, these are my people right here.
Those are your people.
Yeah. There was another guy who made this claim and he mysteriously died. He was one of those Clinton bye-byes. Yeah. So Tafari ain't the only one that has bought the farm. Yeah.
What?
Mo looks like she picks her nose walking around Walmart window shopping. What? Really? What does that look like? What? Tell me what I'm looking like that gives you that impression so I could just fix that
I don't
shit.
get it either. Like, what?
We could always count on Uncle Earl to say weird things. Okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So
did you hear that Tucker Carlson, not Tucker Carlson, Elon Musk is suing the ADL for falsely accusing him of anti-Semitic behavior?
I'm so sick of him.
Do you know that they also came out and said the quiet part out loud? That they run shit?
Yeah, exactly.
You saw that?
Yeah. Right?
Should I play that for one time for the people? I was just like, so you're just going to come out and admit what we already been saying. Right? And ain't nobody going to say nothing. That was wild.
Play it.
I'm gonna play it. Why can't I take this down? Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I'm pulling the mo right now.
I need to show y'all something. Do you have time for me to show a funny thing?
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm
So
scared.
this is
What is
random
this?
news. This is random news. Okay. So woman is addicted to breastfeeding her husband. He drinks it 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Hold on. I gotta share my audio because I'm about to rock y'all's world. Stop it right now. Okay, here we go.
Feed my 2-year-old son, and I plan to breastfeed my 2-year-old until he's completely over breastfeeding. I allow my children to choose when they want to stop. I do feel like my son is getting close to that point. He doesn't need me as much. It's sad because I love the bond. I have a condition, just like a lot of women that breastfeed, where I overproduce milk. And so my husband has to take on that secondary role of finishing the job. Breastfeeding my husband is not just a luxury. We're a family. I'll sit here so I don't interrupt your TV.
Not a burp rag.
In order to a luxury, it's actually a necessity. My breast will go from flat to hard as rock, super engorged breast because of just so much milk. Hey, babe.
Oh, pump, bitch.
When I don't release my milk, I get mastitis, which is an infection in the breast. Yeah, the left one needs release again. I'll sit here so I don't interrupt your TV.
You want to change the channel?
In
This
order
is fake.
for luxury, it's
Isn't that dumb?
This is fake.
She breastfeeds her husband. No, that's like on some TLC show. You think it's fake?
Oh,
Julia, look into that story for us and see if it's
he
real.
said, "Bro, what am I witnessing? Why don't you just pump? Like, I don't understand why you wouldn't just pump. Whatever.
But
I'm not
did
supposed
you
to understand
see?
it.
Did you see the dude had like a burp rag and everything with him? He had like a little white burp rag.
Yeah.
Like, does she burp you too?
Apparently, maybe he wiped his mouth when he done. That is so gross, bro. I can't.
He looked really excited about it.
What? I'm sorry. My mind is just like, huh? Where did you find that?
It's just something I saved, you know.
That is freaking hilarious. What show is that? I want to watch that show now.
It's probably like My Strange Addiction or some weird shit on TLC.
Okay,
I'll find out.
I'm gonna look for that because what?
The AD.
This is the ADL though. This is the ADL admitting that they run the world.
Okay.
The ADL, our Center for Technology and Society, works actively with all the kind of companies from Silicon Valley, from Apple to Zoom, if you will, from Amazon to Microsoft to Meta, and indeed to Twitter. We've dealt with them for years, helping them tackle the challenges of hate speech on their service. We point things out, we share information, but what we've said again and again and again, and I've had the privilege of speaking directly to Elon a few times, the reason why we are so concerned is because we think Twitter is such a consequential service. And again, allowing people who created the toxicity on the platform that led to real world violence. Keep in mind that the conspiracy theories that dominated on Twitter for so long exploded in places like Pittsburgh, Poway, El Paso, and of course, ultimately in Washington, D.C. on January the 6th. So what I would say very clearly is that to you, as I've told Elon Musk, as I've told to others, we need these companies to engage constructively, smartly, use their innovation to tackle hate speech. I see that chart you put up. That contradicts what we're seeing at ADL. We've seen anti-Semitic speech stay up there longer than ever before. We've been, indicating when we've seen toxic content.
I'm going to pause it because what does it matter if anti-Semitic speech exists on Twitter? And why is this on the news? There is hate speech about everybody on Twitter. Why are you special?
And everywhere. It's not just on Twitter, it's everywhere.
I gotta get the baby. Hold on.
And I thought the Jew. Hold on. I thought the Jews, according to fucking what's his name,
DeSantis.
No, not DeSantis. The big Jew from the Daily Wire. The big Jew. What's the
Ben Shapiro?
that thinks kitty porn's okay.
Oh, what's the name? Dennis Prager.
Right. I thought Jews weren't concerned with anything. The only thing they care about is your actions, not your
lies.
Lies. It's all lies. Anyways, that's wild. Who else wants to see what's saved in my show to Soonie file? Let's see. Oh, you guys who are loving the Jamie Foxx conspiracy. So this video popped up on my thing. Jamie Foxx. So this is Jamie Foxx at McDonald's. Okay. People are saying he supposedly is supposed to have a tattoo that's not there, that they're saying he's not this tall. But this is a video somebody took of Jamie Foxx at McDonald's, and he's actually talking to somebody about how his daughter and his sister saved his life. So here we go. Sorry, guys.
I had a question of him. Yo, what was going on? What's up, bro? What happened? That's some health shit. Yeah? Nowhere. What is it, hard? Nah. Some other stuff. Just like, literally, nowhere. I was in the hospital for 4 months. So you're better now, though, right? Yeah, man. Look at it. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. But I was, my sister and my daughter saved my life. Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know why it's pausing like that, but there you guys go. There you guys go who are on the Jamie Foxx conspiracy. Who knows if that's him? The internet is saying it's not.
Oh my gosh. Y'all gotta stop with these clones.
They're saying he's a clone.
Tell him, Emery. Say, stop it with the clones.
You little whitey baby. Look at her. She's like, I'm about to yell right now, as a matter of fact. She looks mad. Why is she mad? Did she sleep? She just woke up?
She just woke up.
Aw.
She's good.
Anyways, I think
he's
that's
gonna
all
get
we
another
have.
stroke if he keeps eating the number 3 from McDonald's. Dang.
Right? Exactly. Oh, that's for the other thing.
He sounds like the alphabet group who claim
Words cause violence.
I just, you know, everybody faces hate speech on the internet. Christians face hate speech. That's another thing. If Christians were to run or openly admit that they run tech and that they have a great influence and they're working with these companies to ensure that people who are not necessarily believers don't say anything I guess, what is it? Unpleasant?
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine the uproar? Imagine the uproar.
I know.
But these people can do whatever they want. Okay.
I'm so over Elon. I just think about all the people that were like, yeah, Elon, when he took over Twitter.
I do too.
Was I one of those people?
Yes. I was all by myself and being
Damn
like,
it.
bro, who cares?
I was hoping you'd forget that I was behind it in the beginning.
Never
mind.
I got the memory of an elephant, bro.
Never mind. I'm trying to think what else we were going to talk about. At any rate, we'll have a good show for you guys on Friday because by the way, if you guys did not watch, Anomaly did an interview with Vivek, which I thought was very good. I thought Anomaly killed that interview. He did amazing. Go check it out if you are hearing a lot of stuff about Vivek and are wondering, is he for real or is he not? Anomaly went really, I think, hard on him. And then what's his name? Robert Kennedy was on the Breakfast Club. So if those are two candidates that you guys are interested in, go watch those interviews. I nearly fell asleep. Like I was hit with a tranquilizer dart listening to Kennedy because you know how that goes. His voice, I can't do it. And he talks a lot about vaccines on that one. So yeah, go watch those 2 interviews. Exactly, Soonie. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like my voice is really bad. I'm like,
sounds like he's got a frog in his throat constantly.
Yeah, and at the beginning of the interview, he's like, "It's only going to get worse as the interview goes on." I'm like, "Jesus, worse?
Shut up!"
Yeah. So, but we'll talk about the Tucker Carlson interview with Barack Obama's alleged former lover, gay lover.
Gay lover.
Yeah.
It's going to be a salacious show.
It's going to be a good show Friday. Yeah.
I can't wait. Say bye.
Bye. If you guys know any other women that we could, interview and like intervene in their whorish ways and help them, let us know, because Soonie and I are trying to get like something real started here. Like it's not just a game for us. Like we really want to help society.
Facts.
I
really do.
Yeah.
Women need help right now.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna help you, sister. I'm gonna help you.
Right, Emery?
I got you. You gonna help him? No, you can't pull my hair now. Give me that.
Oh, now she's got some hair to pull.
Say bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, Emery. What is she looking at? Your
My
electronics.
phone.
Oh.
Just trying to grab it.
These damn kids.
Right?
Look
These
at her.
pandemic babies.
She's like attracted to the electronic, like the studio equipment.
She is. Look at her grabbing the mic.
Oh my gosh. Tell us something, Emery.
You want to talk? Say hi. Okay. She said no.
I was hoping she'd be like, yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh.
Thank you.
Oh, she get a little voice. She gave us a little song.
Oh, you're so cute.
Yes, Wendy. Soonie had a baby. Yes, she did. I told you guys that.
I did not have a baby. I did not. I'm babysitting for our good friends. I wanted to help them out, but I'm not. There's no babies ever coming out of this baby machine. It's shut down indefinitely. No
and
more.
if it wasn't shut down, Emery for sure shut it down because with her screaming,
She done pulled the headphones out. I can't hear you.
Oh,
come on, man! I can't hear nothing now.
I said even if it wasn't shut down, Emery for sure has convinced
What you done did?
Oh,
can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, I can't hear you.
I
can't fix it.
You. All right. Then let's get out of here.
It's all Emery's fault.
Bye, guys. See you back here on Friday.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Patriotic summer.